Hi, this is Temple with the Conscious Woman. Wanted to take a little time to talk to you about the difference between spiritual maturity and mental maturity or human maturity. You might have heard people say to you at some time in your life, you just need to grow up. Or maybe you've said it to other people. I know that I've heard that spoken to me over my life where you need to grow up and see things as an adult. But what that person is trying to say is that you're not acting mature about a certain situation, that you're not handling it properly. Maybe there's something that's triggering you that is causing you to go into a place of fear and in turn puts you into a childlike state of wanting protection. And so when you're in that state of fear, you might defend yourself or act out or hurt somebody else to try to protect yourself. Especially if you're in a situation where it involves your job or money or your marriage, where you feel that your personal safety is in jeopardy. And I don't just mean physical safety, but your emotional safety. So if you're in an argument and that person is saying things about you that directly affects your self-esteem and hurts your heart, that would probably put you into a place of defense and fear, right? And probably cause you to do some things that are not very mature, like cuss the other person out or storm out or throw something, or, when things escalate high enough where you don't feel that your best interest is being protected anymore, you leave the relationship completely. And that dismantles everything. Dismantles your home, it can dismantle your family, it can dismantle your health. So when somebody hears that statement, you need to grow up, it's probably because you're trying to defend something that you think you're losing. And what I want to talk to you about is how to switch that thinking into a spiritual maturity. Because mental maturity, life is going to force you to have mental maturity. When you have responsibilities, when you have a home, when you have kids, there's things that you have to take care of. You have to feed those kids. You have to get your mortgage paid. And your life will force you into a position to take care of those things. And you have a choice. Yes, some people don't take care of their things, but overall, the normal American lifestyle will put each person into a position of maturity just by having to be responsible for their life. But that's not where the issue really is. It's in the spiritual immaturity that things really break down. When you're not spiritually mature, you look for things outside of yourself to make you happy and fulfilled. So if you're in a relationship and that partner doesn't agree with what you want, then you might put too much stock in their opinion and take something away from yourself that you enjoy. If you're somebody that likes to go out and socialize and your partner doesn't like to socialize so much, but you want to make that person happy and you want their approval, so you take that away from yourself, then you're trying to get them and their experience to fill you up. Does that make sense? Instead of you taking the experience that you need, which is to socialize with your friends or go to your church or go to an event or go dancing or go sing karaoke or whatever it is that fills you up, brings you joy, lights you up, but you're taking that away from yourself because the other person doesn't want to be included, then that's where the immaturity can come in. That I need you to want the same things I want. In a relationship, that's almost impossible. Of course, you're going to want to have commonalities with your partner, but ultimately you're completely different individuals and you have completely different wants and desires and personality traits in life. And most likely it was those opposite things that attracted you in the first place. If one spouse is more introverted, they usually attract somebody that's more extroverted and vice versa. So it is a challenge of spiritual maturity to be able to separate yourself from the disappointment or what you think might be a personal attack that person doesn't want to join in on the things that you want to do. So seeing the spiritual maturity side, this is what you do. You see that person is not engaging in what I want them to do. because they don't feel safe in their own skin doing it. So if I love karaoke, which by the way, I do love karaoke, and I need my husband to go with me, and he says, no way, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to participate in that. Just forget about it. And then I take that as a personal attack, like he doesn't love me because he doesn't want to have the same fun that I want to have, then that is spiritual immaturity. Because I'm trying to put his spirit in jeopardy to fulfill my spirit. But what I could do is find a way to meet him where he's at and say, look, I understand that you don't want to sing in front of people. That's totally fine. I promise I will not drag you up on the stage. But would you go with me and just drink soda? You don't have to drink. Just hang out and watch me and my friends make fools of ourselves. And then at the end of the night, we're still together and we enjoyed each other's company. Now, I've taken away the threat that I'm going to try to pressure him into something that he doesn't want to do, and just asked him to just hang out with me and just find his joy in that. Maybe he can play video poker, or, just listening and making fun of the people that are singing might be more appealing to him than the threat of somebody grabbing him by the hand and dragging him up on stage and forcing him to sing. So it's a challenging situation to try to get somebody to do something that you think would be good for them. And it happens to me a lot in my relationship because I am the outgoing person in my relationship, and I want him to do a lot of things that involve socializing, and he doesn't enjoy socializing the way I do. So it takes a lot of, spiritual maturity for me to understand that it's not because he doesn't love me, it's because he doesn't feel safe doing the things that I feel safe doing. So how can I honor him? And there are times that I do things that he wants to do and I compromise. That's part of relationship as well. And that spiritual maturity comes in when you're in partnership, when you're married. You really have to ramp up your spiritual maturity to know that there's things that I do that I go along with my spouse because it really lights that person up. And when somebody's happy doing something that they enjoy, there's nothing more enjoyable than sharing it with the person you love. If you love to sing, or if you love to paint, or if you're a speaker and you do some kind of event and you look out into the audience and there's nobody you love out there, it feels a little empty. We want to share our gifts with each other. We want to share the things that we enjoy with each other. So there are times when you're just going to say, I'm supporting my spouse to see their joy, and their joy gives me joy, and it's a win-win. I might not like the event, but I love seeing my spouse lit up. So you'll have to negotiate on what those things are that you're willing to do. Maybe you're going to go to a motorcycle race and get all muddy and dirty when you don't really want to, but your spouse loves it, and you'll sit through one just to see him yelling, screaming, and jumping up and down and lit up about something that he thinks is exciting, right? And you get to share that vibe because you're right next to him. So that's what I want to say about spiritual maturity as far as compromising in relationships today, that you don't necessarily need to grow up to be able to have a good compromise in your relationship. It's really about just seeing that your happiness is your responsibility, and if you can share it with your partner, find a way to deliver it in a way that they will want to join you. And it does take two people being willing to go a little outside their comfort zone to say, I've chosen to be in a relationship. It makes me happy to see you lit up. I will do things that I wouldn't particularly choose for myself, but God put me with you for a reason, so I'm going to stretch myself a little bit so I can share in your joy. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Stay conscious. I love you. God bless. Please go to templesworld.org and you can find my book there, Whoops, I Married a Bipolar, and any other programs that you might be interested in.